Hi, how you doing, buddy?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, you alright?
Yeah.
I'm Dale, mate.
Hi, that's me.
I see you're doing some video in here.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you a wee quick bit about photography. Would you say it's true in the sense that when your camera is levelled, perfectly levelled, and you're at, say, the seaside and you've got a picture of the horizon, would you say that the horizon always intersects the centre of your screen when your camera is perfectly levelled?
Well, I don't. You mean, do I look for that composition, that kind of straightforward?
Well, I'm looking for the mechanics of photography. So, like, any image you take with a camera, where you point, the centre would always show me the direction you're pointing in. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the centre of any image you take is the direction you're pointing. So I can then tell if you have a horizon shot in the background. I can tell whether you're looking upwards or downwards. Because if you're looking upwards, the horizon will be lower in the screen. If you're looking downwards, the horizon will be on the top portion of the screen.
Yeah.
But if you're perfectly levelled, would you expect to see the horizon intersect the centre of your screen?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you notice any change when you go to altitude in that regard, or is the horizon still intersecting the centre of your screen?
I think it'd still be intersecting the centre. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
In my experience, that's definitely what happens.
Yeah.
And even when I see footage from an aircraft, it's still the same. So people at 35,000 feet, camera perfectly levelled, the horizon appears to intersect the centre of the screen.
Yeah.
You would be in agreement with that, would you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So what that leads me into is that I'm just going to ask you this, okay? And then I'm looking for honest responses here, because this is what I'm gathering. The claim that I was born into in this world is that the world that I'm living in is an oblate spheroid.
Yeah.
Were you the same? You had the same claim put to you?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And do you believe that claim?
I have no reason not to
believe
that
it?
claim, but I do see what you're getting at.
Could I ask you though, have you ever thought about it off your own back, not what you've been told or shown? If I was to ask you in your direct experience of reality, could you point me to something that would suggest to you that you were living on an oblate spheroid?
The only thing I can think of that, when I've thought about this question, is I remember one time when I was in a hotel looking out at the sea, and I was looking at the kind of cross beam of the window, and I thought, that sea is definitely curving at the edges. That's what I thought.
You thought that?
But I'm sure there's arguments against that as well. You're coming from a flat Earth kind of point of view. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite sort of. I think my stance on everything in life is that I don't really know. I can't really prove anything. I can't really disprove anything.
Would you tend to go more with your own experience rather than what somebody else was telling you, or would you put your faith in the hands of supposed experts who make decisions and make claims about things like your reality and the shape of it, the dimensions of it?
Well, I like to think I go on my own, my own experiences and what I kind of see in the world. But I think the reality is I probably am quite sort of subconsciously informed by what other people say. Hard not to be. It's quite hard not to be, really. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting topic.
Do you think it's important for people as individuals to question and analyse the claims that were felt to be true and the things that have been told to us, or would you think it's an irrelevance? Or
no, I think it's always really important to question. Always be
so that we're sure. So you know about this gravity thing, and they'll say this is gravity holds everything, pulls it towards the centre of the sphere. Do you know what gravity actually is?
No.
You don't?
No.
So again, you would be taking on faith these claims and these theories that they come up with to tell us about the mechanics of our reality.
I would,
So it's an honest answer. You don't really know what it is. You just hear about it. It's just a phrase that you hear.
Sure.
That's excellent, mate. Well, listen, mate. It was an absolute pleasure speaking to you. That's just
Likewise.
what I was trying to gather there. Much
really
appreciated, my man. Thank you. How's it going, buddy? You all right? I'm Dale, mate. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim, how you doing, Jim?
Nice to meet you.
You too, buddy. What I do, Jim, is I ask people some questions about life in general and some of the things they think about. I usually kind of go run about the scientific kind of. So I don't know if you ever consider science or natural philosophy.
Teacher.
You're a mathematics teacher, brilliant. So, what do you do? Is it secondary school or?
No, I teach up at university.
You teach up at university?
Third and fourth years.
So what kind of mathematics do you teach?
I teach engineering.
Engineering? Would it be true then if I said to you, do you know who Euclid of Alexandria was?
Yeah, I do know who it was.
So would you agree then that the basics of engineering and the mathematical axioms that we assuming we use are Euclidean planar?
Yeah.
You would say that? Would you say that we apply that in the real world of construction, engineering?
Most of the time.
Most of the time? What if I asked you, does Euclidean plane principles apply to a curved surface?
It depends what you're trying to do.
Well, if I want to construct, if I want to build something in the natural world, you know, a bridge or something like that over a span,
Very much so, yeah.
I'm using Euclidean principles, the same as when they built the Channel Tunnel. The engineering blueprints were Euclidean planar.
Yeah.
Now what I'm doing is I'm investigating, and I've got a few other people. Actually, Gav will quite like this wee interaction because he's an honours degree graduate in maths and physics from Glasgow University as well. So what we've been questioning, mate, is, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, is the validity of the claim that we're living on the exterior of a oblate spheroid.
No, I've not heard it. No.
You've never heard that? Have you ever questioned it?
No.
No? So if I just put it to you then, if we use and utilise Euclidean plane principles, for me it doesn't apply to a curved surface because it wouldn't work. If that's what we're utilising and using in the real world, do you not think there's an issue with the claim that we're living on a curved spherical surface?
I don't know.
No? No? What about something like water? You know how water behaves?
Aye.
Always finds its level.
Yeah.
Surface is always an equal plane. You know, but they're trying to make us believe that we've got vast oceans, lakes, rivers bending, and the water's maintaining the bend on the surface of that.
But I wouldn't say so.
No. So would you then go with a direct realist approach that, you know, if I base my understanding of reality on what I experience for day to day, water finds its level. We use Euclidean plane principles, but yet we've got this image on a TV screen depicting the Earth as a ball. Would you say there's a validity there to anybody questioning that? You think
It's not really a ball, it's an oval shape, isn't it?
oblate spheroid, they will say. But again, how do we apply any of these principles to a curved surface?
Once again, it comes down to what you're building and what you want out of it.
Well, if you know, taking part in the Channel Tunnel crossing, and you get two ends meeting each other in the middle, they're using definite Euclidean principles. You have to take into consideration over a 50-mile span, hundreds and hundreds of feet of curving earth, but it's not there. So I'm just trying to, you know, garner people's reactions to this. And does it even concern you? Does it bother you?
No, not particularly, no.
Nah. Do you think it's important for like a philosophical point of view, and you know, anybody questioning the reality? If you're basing your reasoning on a faulty assumption, surely you're going to have an issue as you walk through your life.
Yeah, but everything you meet in life can either be true or untrue anyway, can't it? So
What would your standard then be for accepting something as being true?
somebody gave me the proof of the pudding.
Proof of the pudding? Like how water behaves? And what axiomatic assumptions we're making when we're applying mathematics and stuff like that?
Well, water always finds its own level, unless you're filling a glass.
What do you mean?
Well, you fill a glass, it'll either be half empty or half full, can't it?
Aye, that's the old philosophical, you pessimistic or optimistic, you know. But it's definite that the water's not going to cling to the outside of the shape and show it on its surface, innit? So, aye, I mean, so you think you'd ever consider that thought then, that I've said it to you?
I'll think about it today.
Think about it. And again, just have a look at some of these pictures they're showing us, because they're just cartoons. They're no like an actual photograph we're seeing. So for me it's usually important and relevant, because I want to find out exactly what's going on out there and where we actually are, you know?
Yeah.
Aye. Well, thanks mate, it was a pleasure just getting that wee bit for you.
See you later.
Thank you, my man. Cheers. Thanks for speaking to me, sir. What's your name?
Christopher.
Christopher Amdell. Thanks, Christopher. Christopher, I'm asking people if they would be up for me questioning some of the beliefs that they may have or the assumptions that they may hold to be true, and whether or not they've ever considered or thought outside the box in regards to their beliefs or what they think they know. Would you be up for me questioning just can I ask you, sir, do you believe that the Earth is a spherical?
I do.
You do believe it's spherical. I take it by the smile on your face, you've heard about this, people questioning these things. Can I ask you what you think about people who question the shape of the Earth?
I think it's ignoring the actual physical facts that you can see the horizon for a reason. The Earth curves away.
So what's a physical fact to you? Would you say it's the natural sciences, physics, chemistry, biology? Would you say that's it?
Yeah.
Do you understand that mathematics is a formal science? Have you ever considered that? Do you know?
Yeah, I've got dyscalculia, so math is not my strong suit. So mathematics itself, no.
Well, I'll make the statement that mathematics is a formal science, so it's a language. It only only applies to the natural sciences when it's ascribed to some sort of tangible substance, something that can be quantified and shown in a practical fashion. Would you say that would be the true essence of scientific endeavour and understanding?
I would say, yeah, to a point, yeah.
Yep.
Would say makes sense.
So when you say, you know, the physical aspects of the Earth being a sphere, can I ask you then, without referring to an authority or something you see on a TV, is there something in your direct reality, your experience?
I lived on a yacht, so I've seen the curvature of the Earth. I've used it to calculate direction and distance and points and not run into things. And
so what did you use to calculate?
Used traditional instruments,
Sextant
on board. We also had general things like lineups and things like that. You can check the elevation of points by measuring one point against another.
So you understand that a sextant's a sextant is a plane geometric tool, so it's calibrated to the horizon, the level, and it measures angles. So you're using trigonometry.
Yeah.
Trigonometry is a Euclidean plane aspect.
Right.
It's not non-Euclidean, it's Euclidean, and Euclidean geometry only applies to a level, straight surface, not a curved surface.
Above my head at this point.
Well, it's mathematical axioms. You know, we've got Euclid. You ever heard of Euclid of Alexandria?
No, like I said, I'm dyscalculic. Math's not my strong point.
Well, I'm just going to assert these things, and you can obviously look into it yourself, because obviously I've stopped you quick here in the street. And I'm not trying to put you in an awkward position and dominate the conversation. Right. So a sextant, I know I've looked into it. It's a plane geometric tool, so it calibrates to the level, and then you're taking, you know, readings a certain angle. So we're using trigonometry, which again, triangles are flat sides, they're not curved, so you need non-Euclidean aspects. You need a different set of axioms when you're dealing with curved surfaces. So other than, you know, you think you see it with your vision, if I says to you it's in physical reality, water, the substance known as water, has definite traits to it. The main description of what water is that it will take the shape of its container.
Right.
And it will always eco on the surface. It will always form a horizontal plane. If I asked you, if I asked you, you know, again in practicality, because real science is about practicality and demonstrating what our claims and our findings are. If I was to say to you then, if you had a belief that a body of water can indeed curve and can display that on its surface, could you give me a practical demonstration of that?
Yeah, overfill a glass of water just before it overfills.
So that's meniscus, yep.
Yeah.
But that's in a container. What about in the exterior of a shape, like a ball?
Well, you need to do it on a scale that would be visible and comparable to the scale that you're talking about here, which is the Earth.
Well, I would class that as pseudoscience, because it's a claim that can't be demonstrated in a practical fashion.
So is a Dyson sphere, but that's something that's quite used.
Yeah, but did you know what pseudoscience means?
Yeah, I know what it is.
So a belief or a claim that they think's true, but yet it has no practicality. It doesn't really.
You got a photo of the underside of the flat Earth?
Oh, I don't make any of these claims. I'm questioning. You know,
why does the sun go over that way?
Well, the sun.
I'm from Australia, so I'm from the southern hemisphere.
Oh, some people say it's not there.
There
Well, no, it's just quick to answer your question. You know, when we're talking about the sun, we've got to take into account human perspective. So if I was to see an aircraft on my horizon right now, it looks as if it does an arc over the top of me, although it's at the same altitude because of our perspective and the way our eyes work. Well,
they do an arc over the top of us, though.
Well, no, when it's taken off. If it's at altitude and I see it on my horizon and it flies over me, to my perspective, it looks as if it does that and it arcs as it goes to the next horizon. But that's just my perspective.
So this is perspective that on a plane it just looks like you do this the whole time. There's no up and down.
Well, if we look at along the street right now, you can see that the floor rises up and everything gets smaller in the distance. The sky.
This is perspective again. We're looking at a very, very small subsection of what we can actually see, because you can see the top of the mountains over there. And I'm sure there's no argument that is a higher altitude than over here.
But they look small to me right now, you know.
That's just perspective.
Yeah, well, this is it. So can I ask you just quick? Sorry, buddy, I know you want to get away. Do you think it's justifiable that people should ask these questions? Do you think that the scientific community?
People ask it, because I like to ask these questions.
Exactly. So you think science should be an open book?
I read the whole article about the Earth being donut shaped recently. I was like, that's brilliant.
But would you then agree that science should be an open book? If it's objectively true, it should never fear investigation.
But it is, and it shouldn't.
Exactly.
But then that should work with everything.
Exactly. I totally agree. What I've experienced
religion, science, math,
100% agree.
Yeah.
So you do agree it should be open and looked at. Smashing. Thank you for your time.
If you can prove that it's flat, then I'll be a convert, definitely.
Nice one. Take it easy, buddy. Thank you. What's your name, bud?
Gilday, John Gilday.
John, how you doing? I'm Dale, John. You alright, man? How you doing? I'm just asking.
You're colder than that.
I know, it's a bit chilly when you're out of the sunlight, isn't it? I'm just asking people some of their thoughts on life, reality, some of their philosophies and stuff like that. So, have you got one?
Well, not so much philosophy. Right now, for instance, St Patrick's Day, treat every day it's your last day.
Aye.
And that's no a load of old pony.
No.
Maybe not your last day, but maybe somebody very near your last. I came back to the Hawkhead Cemetery the day, seeing my missus, Alistair and St Paddy's Day. And I got a phone call from my mate. His wife wasn't too well. He was a real nice dude. And so I sent him a get well card. Just phone to tell me she's terminal.
Right.
And it's just amazing how it just drops.
Just everything changes, I know.
That's basically it. I mean, they're just sitting here waiting to go and see the council, more paperwork.
Exactly.
And I thought I had it bad, and then this young guy phones and says that's it.
Well, it's funny that because there's a few people I know recently that have just had similar kind of news, and they're having battles with terminal illnesses, and you know it's tragic. And as you say, you're right. You've got to value, you know, yourself and the people that you care about for each moment in time, and you know, and I'm going to wander away a wee bit just to a kind of bigger picture. Is you know, my whole questioning about all this. You know, I know we've all got our lives in between and stuff, but have you ever questioned where you actually are?
Religion-wise? Religion-wise?
No, like, where are you? What do you consider the earth to be?
In danger.
Aye, but what do you think it is? Do you think in a cosmological terms of, like, we're in a solar system and we're on a ball, and do you believe we live on a ball?
I'm a practicing Roman Catholic.
Right.
Saying that, I believe I can't go any further out than we are, but on ground roots, the only thing wrong with this fabulous planet is the folk that are walking on it.
Exactly.
This will regenerate again once we get rid of us.
So this is my point. See, when we talk about, when we say a planet, what's your image of that? What do you mean by planet?
Rain pressure. Unless I go on holiday. It's not good. I'm not going to be metaphysical about it, because I've not got the
we'll stick to the physical, the real world. But when we say planet, you're talking about a ball flying about in space.
I have been informed that that's what it's like.
You've been informed? That's an excellent, honest response, because I was informed that that's what it was like as well.
Aye.
But under further investigation, I've started to discover that it's maybe not that. Have you ever considered that, or have you just taken it for granted that that's what it actually is?
This is way by my pay grade if I was still working.
Aye. What was it you done for a living?
Painting and desecrator. That's my parish priest called it.
Right.
Every day went to church and they get prayers, I get painting.
Aye. Do you know what plumbing level is, don't you?
No, not really.
You don't?
No.
You know how a water behaves? Do you know, like...
What level you talking?
Water level.
Aye.
You know that water always levels. It's a self-levelling device.
The Romans taught us that.
Aye, and we can use it, we can rely on it for everything, for structure, for making sure things are level. The level to me means from one point to the other it's a straight line that doesn't deviate. Right, so I know that liquid, that substance, that's the way it behaves.
Aye.
How can it be bending round the outside of an object then?
I've no idea. Gravity?
What is that?
Oh well, just check out the nearest apple tree in a couple of months' time.
Aye, this is the stories I was told as well.
Well, I've got to a stage in life, I'm 70 plus now, and I'm not going to put my head up my ass, but I'm not going to start worrying about too much.
No.
Way by me.
It's not about worrying, is it? But would you be more worried that you had it wrong and that you believed you were somewhere that you weren't? Do you not think that's more worrying?
If I was their age, I'd worry. At my age, all my worries are behind me.
Aye.
I mean, I've got 3 smashing kids, but I'm not going to start breaking my back up with things I can't control.
Exactly.
So I'll get back to my paper, boss, because I've got
nice one, Will.
10 minutes.
It was a pleasure to get your honesty off you, my man. And
you take
thank
care,
you very much for your time.
Bother.
Take care, buddy. Cheers.
All the very best.
How you doing, man? What's your name, bud? Ian, I'm Dale. How's it going, Ian? Thanks for taking time to speak to me.
Aye, no bother, mate.
I'm asking, Ian, can I ask you what you do for a living, if you don't mind?
Plant fitter.
A plant fitter? What is that?
In the hire industry.
Right, okay.
And in steel hire.
No, I'm just going to cut right takes. I'm just trying to gather a wee quick document of people if they've heard about this. What do you think about people who question the shape of the earth?
They're after heads. Some
They're
people
after heads?
think they're flat. It's no flat, is it? You know what I
Well,
mean?
I don't know. This is what I'm just asking people what they think. Have you heard about this? People asking about the shape of the Earth?
Aye, aye.
And you think people are just crazy?
Aye, it's no flat, is it? You know what I
Well,
mean?
can I ask you, if you don't mind, do you believe it's a ball then, aye?
Well, it's spherical, aye.
Like, if I asked you then for your reasoning processes and just like to reason with me about why you would believe it was flat, round, if you can give me some kind of experience of yours that would suggest that it is a round
Just
ball.
got to look at everything else in it. The moon, the other planets, they're all round, you know what I mean? The sun's round.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So you expect this to be round, you know what I mean?
Oh, you expect it to be,
Aye,
so you would
aye.
assume,
Aye.
but you don't really know, do you? If I came to your house and
Apart from like satellite photos and all that, you know what I mean, of the Earth, you know what I mean? It looks round.
do you think
know
they're
what I mean?
photographs? Do you think they're photographs?
Who knows, you know what I
They
mean?
tell you they're composite images.
Aye.
So it's a computer that they're doing it on, and they're just generating it. They're saying they're getting data, and this data reads like this, and then they get a
Well,
computer to show
but
it.
Then you've got, when it rains, right, you've got rainbows.
Right?
If it was flat, it would be
Aye.
flat, do you know what I mean?
What for a rainbow?
Aye.
Right. So far, this is no a gauge on you. So far, you're saying to me, you see circles up in the sky and you see a rainbow. Right. So if I was to come to your house, right, and you wanted me to measure your flare to fit your carpet, right, and I walked into your house and I started pulling my measuring tape out and I went to your light bulbs and I started trying to measure your light bulbs and started saying to you, right, I've measured your light bulbs, your flare's round. The light bulbs up there are all round, so your flare must be round. Would you think I was crazy?
Aye, a wee bit, aye.
Right. So what does that say about your reasoning then? About looking up there and seeing circles and thinking we're on one?
Well,
Is it not the same?
not really, no.
No? How?
It's like, I've been in planes, right, and you can look down and there is a
Do you think
very,
you can see that?
oh, aye, for certain ones, aye.
The mainstream science will say you need to be something like 80,000 feet before you'll even see a slight curvature. What if I says to you that you know, and do you know about building? You know, like,
Aye, aye.
what would you use if you had no other tools and me and you wanted to make something level? What would you use? Give me a substance that you can think of that would tell you something's level.
Your eyes.
What else? Something that's no you, something, a tool that you could use.
Got a straight edge.
Straight edge, what about water?
And you use that as well, aye.
Why?
But it always levels out, doesn't it?
Always levels out, it's always flat on the top.
Aye.
How can it be curving? How can it be curving round? How can you have a curve with water sitting on it and the water shows the
gravity
curve?
and all that comes in it.
So
apparently, do you know what I mean?
Apparently. So would you then be honest enough to say that a lot of what you think about the Earth being a sphere is based on what you've seen on TV and what you were told about
Probably,
it?
aye.
Aye. That's what I was looking for people, just to see, you know, the honest response, because the majority of people I speak to, that's the reasons. So they've never ever considered, you know, through their own eyes, their own experience, if it's possible for it to be a sphere.
Aye.
Would you think it would be important if it wasn't what they were telling us it was?
Oh, 100%, aye.
100%?
Aye.
And do you think that you might have a wee look into it a wee bit further after speaking to me?
I certainly would, aye.
Possibly, aye.
Aye.
Well, what I would always say to people is that you're the scientist because you trust your senses, don't you?
Aye.
Right. You know what a level's out. You know when you look at the horizon, that flat line that you see, it's a straight, flat line, isn't it?
Aye, but there's also beyond that though. You can only see so many thousands of miles.
So do you think the curve starts beyond that point?
You don't know.
But that's it. But that's a good answer then. So you shouldn't believe in, you know, it being round or it being flat.
No.
You think you should investigate it for yourself. If you
Aye,
wanted to
aye,
know,
aye.
you would investigate it yourself rather than taking it on hearsay.
Aye.
That's pretty much what I'm trying to highlight, is that people take all these things on hearsay, what they were told, what they've seen on the TV, and it's not in your direct experience. You don't know because you've never
Exactly,
been up
aye.
there.
Exactly.
And you're just getting fed what you're seeing on the TV screen.
Aye, of course
You
you
know?
do, aye.
For all we know, there's other stuff beyond what we know are the confines of where we think we are.
I'm sure they are, aye.
And we just don't know about it. Well, I think that's interesting and it's intriguing.
They're always lied to in it with the fucking media and everything, mate. Do you know what I mean?
So where do you draw the line then?
Exactly, aye.
But when do you say, oh, they're lying about this, that and the other, but I believe what they're saying about that?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
There's a bit of a hypocrisy or contradiction, isn't
definitely,
there?
aye, definitely,
Aye.
aye, aye.
Excellent. Well, hopefully you'll look into it a wee bit more, man. It's been a
do.
pleasure speaking to you.
And yourself,
Thank you very
mate.
much,
All
buddy.
right, mate.
Take care.